सूरत कुमार की जय। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। राम 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 योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत भगवान श्री योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी राम सूरत कुमारार्पणमस्तु। This evening, twilight time meant for worship is very special, and we have been able to do his Nama Sankirtan day after day after day, every evening twilight, which bears enormous fruit even if you take a little more towards God. It is His precious blessing that is making it possible for all of us. In celebration of this grace, with deep gratitude, we have offered the Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. We have been going through the varied aspects of sadhana. We shall go through a story, another story of Acharya Brahma, a Buddhist monk from Theravada, that is a Tapovanam in Thailand, situated in the forests, meant for severe austerities for the monks. Acharya Brahma says in the story that the abbot, meaning the head of his ashram there, started, in the early days there was no building and they had to do it themselves, and all the monks. They had to buy the cheapest materials and make do with whatever was available, but they didn't mind. That was all meant for God and part of the exercise, sadhana, for the training of the mind. Now it happened that the building was only half built and all that material required were all strewn around, helter-skelter. And suddenly the time had come for the silent retreat. They had been building and building, and then the time had come. The building was not complete, but they could not miss this retreat of silence. So the head Acharya, he said, we'll just drop this, go into the silence retreat. And then he arranged for that, and then it was going on. Now that day, when they started, somebody had come from outside and asked, you have left this building halfway and now switched over to the silence retreat. It is unfinished. Shouldn't you finish this first? Acharya said, the head Acharya said, why? It is finished. And then he kept quiet. Now it was a wonder to this man. He was a little confused by the reply of this Acharya. But Acharya Brahm says that it was meant to be a lesson for all. Even if you leave something unfinished halfway and you have to do something else, and that was more necessary than this, you just stop it and switch over totally. When he said it was finished, a half-finished building was finished, it could only mean one thing, and that is, you have to think that it is finished so that you don't think about it anymore. So you enter into the next work totally. There would be no building in the mind after that. So after relating the story, he was giving lectures. Acharya Brahm was giving lectures in Australia. One day a father had come with his son and he said, "Oh monk, my son is asking a question. He did not study well and he went to write the examination, and when I put forward the question why he didn't study, he said, that's finished." This is what Acharya Dharma said. It's finished. Why you were asking? It's gone. And then Acharya Brahm says how people deliberately twist and misinterpret the truths to suit their convenience. But that's not the truth. And Acharya Brahm goes on to say that he was giving a lecture in which he said how one should lead a balanced life. He said in Australia, everyone has a beautiful garden. And as soon as the man of the house returns from work, he would spend much time doing work in the garden, so particular to keep it beautiful, all the time trimming this, pruning that, sweeping the place clean, and making another part of the garden more beautiful with new plants and all. Acharya Brahm says there are 4 kinds of people. He said, okay, after you finish your work at the office, the workplace, you come back home, it's okay, you also start to work in the garden, that's fine. But then at some point, should you not enjoy the garden that you have made? Should you not look at those flowers and the silence and the divinity it radiates? Should you not look at all that you have made beautiful in the garden? They are speaking out silently, eloquently, the glory of God. Each one is silently conveying the glory of God, the presence of God in them. Should you not just sit, relax, and enjoy the silence and the beauty of the nature around? And then he goes on to say that while one type of people, of course, who wouldn't bother about taking a little rest, a rest in peace. He would just go on working. The very work will give him satisfaction, and he wouldn't bother about relaxing and enjoying his work. The other type say, yes, Acharya, whatever you are saying is correct. Okay, from tomorrow, I shall take a little rest from my work, from garden work, sit and relax for a little while. And then what he would do, he would take the newspaper and have some tea on the table. Sipping the tea, he would be reading the newspapers. That is relaxing for him. Now he would stop the garden work and fill up his mind with all that nonsense that's reported there. Then he says, the third type of people, what do? He would say, Acharya, we know that you don't like us to read a book or newspaper or sip a cup of tea for relaxation. Okay, we'll stop all that. We would just sit there and relax. And truly, they would sit and not do anything, but their mind, it would continue the gardening inside. There would be thoughts about, oh, that place has not been swept well, it's full of those leaves. And then you'd say, oh, those bushes have grown faster now, they have to be pruned. And this and that, there would be a lot of work in the garden, and they would be thinking and planning. Now that is no relaxation either. So, Acharya Dharma says, when you do some work, you have to sit and enjoy this in quiet, in silence, in true silence. Not invite thoughts over it, not read something else and fill up your mind further. All this loading and overloading should be stopped. Just enjoy the beauty of the garden, beauty of the flower, beauty of all those trees and nature and the birds. And be one with them, with the silence of them, because Upanishad says that the whole nature is in silence, in meditation, in deep meditation. In meditation of the Supreme Brahman. Says that you just have to sit and not think about anything, but just see around and enjoy the beauty of your own work, how it speaks to you in silence, much more eloquently than in words. And what do they speak? The glory and wonder of the Creator. So you see, this is very important to lead a balanced life. There are many people who come to the ashram and they say, we've been planning to come, planning for so long, but it just didn't happen. There was no time. There was always something or the other to do. Now, the head Acharya said, he just left the building construction and sat in silence in the silence retreat. This is the way we should give up doing something totally, not continue it in the mind, and then relax, go into the peace and silence. So if you want to come to the ashram and enjoy the energy here, you just have to do it straight. You shouldn't plan for this day and that day. You have to do it straight. I had seen Bhagavan at work. He would often give me a little projects. One of them was to write replies in his presence to those letters which he deserved a reply. He would say, Devki, start. And then I had to start immediately, not think about it. And then I would start. And then whatever flowed spontaneously, I would start writing. And then he would say, stop. And I had to stop there. And then he would sign it. He would say, my father blesses you, Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar, Thiruvannamalai. Then suddenly I would find out that I had missed out on a certain point, and then I'd say, Bhagavan, so sorry Bhagavan, I missed it. He would say, Devki, that work is over. My father will see to the rest. You don't worry about it. Stop thinking about it. We shall now go on to the next work. That is it. That's the way he worked. He would go into any work. It would be instant and total concentration. And if he came out, it's again instant and total withdrawal. There would be no lingering over any of those details anymore. This is what the head Acharya meant. When the building was going on, suddenly he stopped and everything was there. The cement bags, the bricks, and all that was needed, all scattered around. And yet she said, it's finished, meaning finished thinking about it. Now I have to go on to the next work. So let's go into this retreat of silence. This is what we have to learn to do. All these great souls, they do it very naturally because it is in their very nature. We have to practice to drop the first work when the second work demands our attention. We should give it our full attention, forgetting the details of the first work. If we can do it, it's a great exercise. You are practicing instant and total concentration at work, and instant and total withdrawal from work. So this is what we have to learn. I learned it from Bhagavan, that if the time demands, you just don't get to worry about anything. You just go into the next one and fully into it. Then there is no chanchal. There is no agitation of the mind. Now we shall offer our today's prayer at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. They say, in samsaric ocean, the ocean of samsara, the ocean of our living in this world is considered the life that we lead. It's like an ocean with endless problems rising like waves. So there's a saying there. However, how can you wait for the waves to subside? Because as soon as one subsides, the other one will rise. So it's no use waiting for the waves to subside. You have to take your bath even while the waves are on. So likewise, in our life, we don't have to plan and wait for anything. When the time demands that something be done, we should learn to go into it totally, which means the mind should listen to you. You are the master of your mind. You tell your mind, okay, that work is over. We shall now go on to the next work. And we shall. We shall be able to do that. So likewise, we should never postpone good things. We say Shubhasya Shigram, meaning all good things to be done immediately. Do not postpone them. So if you want to come to the ashram, if you want to go to a temple, you have to do it as per the demand, as per the dictates of your intuition, your heart. Bhagavan, we beg you again and again and again, because that's all we can do, and that we do 1,000,000 times, for your immediate divine intervention to bring forth a dharmic normalcy in the place of adharmic violence to this world in all aspects of life. There is so much anger, enmity, misunderstanding, and of course the war that's going on already. And violence at every level. Not to mention the attack of new diseases and the furies of nature. The earthquake. Even today I read there were 2 or 3 earthquakes in the last 2 days. And the forest fire, we know for months it goes on in spite of very diligent attempts to quench it. And of course flash floods. And we know what's going on in Chennai right now. So, Bhagavan, thou art the cosmic controller. Only you can bring in what is necessary for this world today. We beg you to bring in peace, unity, and growing understanding and friendship and brotherhood and mutual help. Bring in harmony and order where there is chaos, and the control of the diseases and the violence of nature. We also beg you to uproot all the negativities of the human mind, just as you uprooted those asuras, the Rakshasas, the Puranic times. Those asuras are in our mind today, and only you can destroy them. We also beg you to reach out to those people who have been stranded in varied parts of the world for some reason or the other, unable to get help or protection. They may belong to a different country, different language, different religion, and yet they very badly need your grace, your help and protection. We beg you to do the needful. We also beg you, for the sake of all those unselfish people who have been doing service to others, please protect them from unhealthy criticisms and aspersion. And we beg you again to promote the economy of the country, and the growth in varied fields of activity, not only science and technology, but also spirituality, that the country reaches its heights so that it would conduct the whole world in the path of Dharma as Vishwaguru. We also beg you to bless us to chant your mantra ceaselessly and to remember your teachings and leelas until we assimilate it so that they would come out as natural activities. We want you to bless us to be sattvic instruments in your hands. We don't want to be Duryodhanas or Kamsas or Ravanas. And Bhagavan, please bless us to run our everyday life as an offering to you. And bless us not to be caught by the temptations of Maya. We seek that ultimate peace and bliss, which is your state of being, is also our state of being. And yet, to reach that state, we need to be purified. We take refuge in your powerful, auspicious name, in joyful repetition of that, knowing no single nama goes waste. Every nama does its transforming work. The nama has the power to destroy the past sins. It is the past sins that appear as obstacles in this birth, not allowing us to complete, not allowing us to achieve anything. And Bhagavan, we take refuge in the joyful service without any unhealthy competition or jealousy, and that in the spirit of surrender to you. Only when it is joyful service, it will benefit us. There is what we call nama aparada, meaning those who chant the name must constrain themselves from uttering harsh words, from hurting others. Then you will be creating new karmas which you have to face sometime or the other. We want to detoxify ourselves, but we get more toxic by violence of words. So nama aparada should not happen. That will not benefit us at all. And again, more than this, we have to practice acceptance. Acceptance of whatever life brings to us, be it a joy or sorrow, be it a praise or abuse. Bhagavan used to say, for every abuse that you get from people, send a blessing. So this we have to remember, not that we can practice it, but we have to try our best. Bhagavan often said, trying and trying is tapasya. We simply have to try, struggle hard. And that invokes grace from God. Because God is watching us all the time from inside. And He knows all the struggles that we go through in the path of sadhana. So what matters is invocation of grace by our struggle. It doesn't matter if you don't get meditation. It doesn't matter if you fail 99 times out of 100. What matters is it would touch the heart of God and there would be a spontaneous flow of grace. And that would be for our spiritual growth. That will give us closer relationship with God. As we get more and more purified, we would be able to detect the living vibrant presence of God everywhere in everything. I remember in those days when Bhagavan told us that there is only God everywhere. Unless you remember this, it will be difficult to get one-pointed concentration on God. So we would playfully say, this is tree Bhagavan, this is bird Bhagavan, this is stone Bhagavan, and this is fire Bhagavan. So playfully we would tell each other so that we would remember that everything is Bhagavan. But that to be realized as an experience, we need to be free from fear, anger, jealousy, sorrow, and growing desires for worldly things. And Bhagavan, please bless us, enable us to see your sankalpa, your will behind all the happenings of the world, all the happenings of our own lives. And more importantly, we should be able to feel your hidden grace even in the worst, ruinous, disastrous adversities of life. It is when some bad karma starts playing up, things begin to go wrong one after the other, and then we feel cut off from grace. And then we lament, we resent God, and we put the blame on everyone else for our own failures. And then we try to move away, then we would find some other God, some other place, thinking that would be better. But then Bhagavan always said, wherever you go, you are taking your own problems there. Your karmas will follow you wherever you go. You cannot escape, because the law of karma is relentless and precise. Only grace can save you from that. And our Bhagavan, so gracious and loving, would not allow us to move away from Him, would hold us at His feet and convert all our difficulties into great blessings. Bhagavan, please bless us to be grateful to you always, even for the adversities of life. We seek your blessings for all the species of the cosmos to be lifted to a higher plane. And finally, we seek the solution of the ego, the sense of individuality, the I and mine, so that we get liberation from the vicious cycle of births and deaths. Bhagavan, please bless us with that immortal life, that eternal living and eternal servitude to you, that supreme, eternal power and entity. Jai Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar.